If you're a regular viewer or a viewer, hold on, let me fix my pedals, or a viewer specifically from Rebel Racing for the New Hampshire race for whatever the league's called, I don't even know. Hubka told me, but I forgot. This is your practice video for New Hampshire. I'm not the best, but it's a solid guide to go off of. Let's start with the steering ratio. You have three things you can adjust in the car. On the fixed set, you got your steering ratio, steering offset, and front brake bias. Your steering ratio, it's really personal feel. I put it 16:1 because I like to feel like I'm turning a school bus. I like to crank the wheel and not burn my tires. Steering offset, I usually leave it stock unless it's really far off. Then you play with it. Negative takes the steering ratio to the left. The more positive takes the steering box to the right. If you want it centered, you just play with it to find the sweet spot, but I'm just going to leave it stock. The front brake bias, again, this is personal preference, but it is helpful to go as low as you can and hold it. Right now, I've worked myself down to about 61.5, and then you turn it up to make a pit stop. I have a dial on my button box here to do that, but for y'all that don't have a dial, it is in the black box. So we're going to go out here and do 20 laps, just a little test run, and tell y'all where to brake, that sort of stuff. And of course, this is just a rough guide. Everybody drives different. It's not a one-size-fit-all type deal. All right. So, please ignore the blinking thing. I don't know why that does it sometimes when I'm in a test session. Here's what I was talking about on your black box. You have the front brake bias adjustment number. The lower you take it, the number, the looser the car will be on entry. So here, I usually let off at the 3, brake at the 2, going into 3. I enter too high, so my line's drifting up. And once you feel the car start to arc back down, that is when you want to... Hold on. Pretend that didn't happen. I'm in some kind of form tonight. Like I was saying, I usually let off at the 3, let it roll to the 2, and brake. Because if you're braking past the 2, it's not that it's too late because you can make it brake. It's that there's those bumps and it's going to unsettle the car on entry and you're not going to be able to hit the line as right. So. Let off at the 3, brake at the 2, turn down. I usually try to put my car, this is the highest, and then once you feel your car turn down like that in center, I call it hooking. Once you feel your car hooked to start turning, you start turning. Again, let off at 3, brake at the 2. Start your turn in on the front straightaway. Let the car roll, let it roll, half throttle, and just ease back into the throttle. And of course, this driving style will not work for qualifying because I'm not a good qualifier. I like to protect my tires and run well in the race. You never want to go below that first seam on the bottom. You'll make the car really loose.
31.117.
Just gotta let it roll, let it roll. Start to get back on it. And you just feel the car start to come around. Not loose, come around, but you just feel the car hook. And you just let it drift, come down, get on the gas. And now I did let it go too high there.
31.175.
Again, let it come down, let it drift. This is optimum in my opinion right here. You'll see some guys drive it in on the top and hook the third line. That's not how I drive it. No problem, Hubka. Like, you'll see guys do this. I don't prefer to do this. I prefer to enter a little lower and let the car wash up. So now for the next spot.
31.1.
Oh man, I'm dumb. Alright, so that was a little 5-lap, whatever you want to call it. It was going to be the full run, but that's a little 5-lap tester, if you will. Let's go to TV1 and actually let's go to Chase so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're just running, braking. The thing about New Hampshire is most people, what I find they do is they turn the wheel too late. You have to angle the car and set it up. Alright, let's go do a 20 lap run. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to do 20 straight laps so y'all can get a feel of it. New Hampshire is all about drive off. You don't want to overdrive the corner here. And another thing in 3 is you want to turn the car down so you avoid those bumps, because there's a nasty set of bumps just past the 2 brake marker on the wall there.
.018.
And the thing I like about New Hampshire is if you miss your turn in just a little bit, you can choose a different line like I just did there through 1. I missed my turn in, so I just hooked that line on the 3rd seam, and it let me keep momentum up, so.
.969.
And again, take all this with a grain of salt, because this is the fixed setup and I'm used to running open, so I may have to back down my pace depending on what the tire wear is. You may have to over adjust your pace because this set may need to be driven a little bit harder on early run. A bunch of variables.
30.872.
Main key here is just letting the car roll and being easy on the throttle. You see there I made 2 mistakes. I got on the throttle before the car was finished rotating and pointing down, and when I got on the throttle, I got on it too much. See there, that's perfect. The delta's down because I overdrove the corner, but that's what you got to do. You just got to wait on the car to turn.
31.118.
No problem, Hubka. Anytime, bud. I don't mind doing this at all. It's enjoyable.
.271.
And I don't know what your conditions are going to be in y'all's race. I always practice at 90-degree track temp just because that's what I like to practice at. I find that if you lower the temperature, it'll be easier to drive. So I always practice when the car will be at its worst because it's easier to adapt to an easier to drive track than one that's harder to drive.
31.
Thrustmaster, I'm sorry, not Thrustmaster. They are Fanatec V3 inverts, Kyle. New Hampshire is such a difficult track to be consistent at because you miss one little thing, be it, it's so technical, you miss one little thing, you lose a 10.
31.23.
Yeah, Kyle, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to do it because I'm running a lot more short track stuff in official because I'm just enjoying that more than NASCAR stuff right now. So I didn't know how I wanted to stream it, but I figured I think just doing short burst streams, as I'm going to title them, is way better than trying to fill in time with the. Oh dang, Kyle, that stinks, bud. I think the burst streams are more time efficient for both me and you instead of having 20 and 30 minutes of dead time in between races that only last that long. Just doing the race, into the stream, saying, all right, I'll be back at X time. If y'all want to watch me here, I think that's the best thing to do. All right, we're 10 laps in. Tires are starting to get a little worn. And one thing I'm noticing, hold on, let me turn up my brake bias, because brake bias is key here. See, my brake bias is at 0-0. I set it at 61.5. I'm feeling the car's a little tight. The trucks will be at Darlington next week, Kyle. They'll be open setup, but they'll be at Darlington. See, I feel like the car's a little tight on entry, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down on the brake bias, which will loosen my entry. And you see it there in my time. I'm not having to put as much wheel into it in entry, so I'm gaining time on entry, center, and exit.
31.254.
Hey man, use my code at Pay to Win Setups. It'll get you 10% off. Rotate, rotate. Entered too high, lost another half a second, or half a tenth there. I actually lost a tenth out of
31.476.
They're only like $3 a pop, Kyle, and you get the qualifying and race setup and all updates sent out. And you'll be running exactly what I run. The key to New Hampshire is be smooth. Be very, very smooth. Smooth is fast. Fast is smooth. You don't want to be going hell for the leather every time. Another thing you'll start doing, and you won't see it in this because I'm only doing a 20 lap run, is you will not see out of turn 1 there's that hump. You won't see it happen to me because the tires won't be worn down enough. But if you're on the throttle whatsoever going over that hump, you're spinning. You need to try to either exit below the hump like I did just there, or if you are going over the hump, get out of the gas, survive to go around another time. Some advice that's really helped me, and I know I haven't been applying it this week because I've been wrecking myself. Sometimes you get hot-headed and forget your own advice. But what I apply to myself is it's better to lose 2 tenths and be able to gain that back than try to keep that 2 tenths, wreck, blow your motor, and damage your car for the rest of the race. New Hampshire's a great track, Kyle. They don't get enough respect.
$31.591.
There we go. That's better. The best thing I can compare that hump to out of 1 or out of 2 is, I don't know if many of y'all watch Monaco or not, but coming out of Casino Square, there's a hump in the track, and all the drivers go to the right off the racing line to avoid it. Because if they go over it, their tires spin and they lift up off the ground a little bit and they don't get as good as traction. That's what I equate that hump to. I'd rather deviate my line a little bit than try to fight it. Alright, coming up to 2 to go.
$31.81.
Nice, Michael. I know you're going to kill it, bro. Alright. Fake white flag is out.
31.784.
Alright, so that's the end of the run, but I am going to do a practice pit entry with y'all, just so y'all see what to do. Because with the playing with the brake bias, it's a habit to get into. Dial it up 2%, so you can enter at 63.5. Because if you don't do that, you're going to enter pit road and you're going to spin. My braking point for pit road here is the end of the Cup Series banner up there on the right. And in pit road we are. And that is 20 laps of New Hampshire.
Start looking for your sign. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign.
I bet, Michael, I'd be thrilled too. Alright, so now while you're sitting in pit road, you want to dial your brake bias back to your starting point. And just so y'all can see my tire wear, after 20 laps I was 96.92, meaning I was loose because I was wearing the right rear out more than the right front. If you're wearing the right front out more, you're pushing tight, and either the setup's too tight or you're overdriving the center of corner. I learned how to, because I had I struggled bad when the new tire model first came out. I dropped all the way down to a 2400 Irating. And I was told this advice, so I'm going to tell it to y'all. Go back and watch 2013, 2014 Cup races of Kevin Harvick at Atlanta and Phoenix. That'll teach you how to drive off the right rear. And that's what you want to do, is you want to drive off the right rear. Not too much, because you'll lose it. You have to find the balance. But in my opinion, it is better to drive off the right rear than the right front, because I like a looser car. I don't want to be tight. Now, just some points on the track I'm going to show y'all real quick before I end it, is the bumps here entering 3. You see them right here in front of me on the track. It's not as pronounced because I'm not going fast enough, but you saw my car bounce up and down. Here, this NASCAR sign right here, when I see it, I know y'all can't see it, but the pillar, the brace that's holding the windshield, when I see my brace touch the end of that sign, that's when I start braking to make my angle into pit road. And personally, I turn my brake bias to 63.5 to make that entry. Depending on the driver, you may need to go higher, you may need to go lower. That's just my comfort zone right now. And the last thing I need to show y'all with track characteristics is the bump in turn 1. Or bump exiting. See, if you exit it and you're pushing up, you're killing the right front. You're tight, and then you get to that hump right there where the track raises up. You get to you can see it better backwards. See how the track raises up right there near this cone right here? If you're pushing tight, you're burning the right front off, and when you get here, you're going to die. You're going to lose it off your right rear. Because you're on the throttle because you're thinking, I'm tight, I've got a lot of wheel into it. You go over this hump and you just spin out. But yeah, guys, I think that's about everything for New Hampshire. This is a mediocre track guide, but it's one y'all can learn off of and improve off of, hopefully. Because the way I feel about it is I'd rather have the median I rating on iRacing be 7,000, the competition be much stiffer, than have a big spread. Because when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. Because we're all iRacers and we love what we're doing. So, guys, that about wraps it up for me tonight overall. I'll be back live tomorrow. I may do the next late model race. I'm not exactly sure. Got some iRunning to grind back. But, y'all, thank y'all for watching. We'll be live tomorrow with a couple late model and SK races. Then we have the MSRA Xfinity Series at Darlington. Be sure y'all go check that out. We'll be live, and my buddy Joey will be live tweeting that. Got a special throwback, and we also got a very, very special announcement. Huge announcement for us. Can't wait to share that. But in the meantime, guys, peace and love. I've been